Hello and welcome back to This or That, presented by Verizon with Kobe and Dash. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing quite well, dude. I'm doing quite well. We are in the home stretch now of the spring split. I know we say this every week, but it's just amazing to me how fast it's moving. The idea that this weekend we could have our first teams actually locked into playoff positioning and or locked out of playoff positioning as well.
You got another win,
pretty
so
well.
they get some more time.
Yes, the miracle run is alive for CLG, and I'm going to attribute it all to the prediction that Kobe made this last weekend on CLG's victory. But it was great to see those guys step up. I know we have a whole bunch of slides planned today, and I want to get right into them. But before we do so, your reminder to go to youtube.com/LCS, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, comment, like the video if you do like it, of course. I don't want you to lie to us or lie to us. That's all right. Inflate our egos. We'll take it. Let's get into slide number 1. More surprising top lane pick. Is it Bwipo's Yone or is it Finn's Kled?
So I'm not really surprised by either of them. I would say, I guess, Finn's Kled is more out of the meta because Yone flex pick from mid, into certain matchups. I would say is maybe less surprising, but.
Well, forgive my ignorance. These are both the first time they've been played professionally this year, though, right?
Yes.
As far as I'm aware, yes. So, that's interesting. But see, so I would have said I think Yone is more surprising as a top lane pick, in essence, because we know that Kled is one of Finn's best champions. So I think because of the player's history, it makes a little bit more sense to me that he would be willing to kind of reach into the pocket pick. Also, here's the other piece I would say is because of CLG's position in the standing, it makes it a little less wild to me that they would choose creative things because you're going to try more. Like when you need those wins to keep the miracle run alive and what you've been doing meta hasn't been working, well, we may as well just fall back on our best performing players pocket pick in Kled. So in some ways that feels less surprising to me. But to your point, we've at least already seen Yone out on Summoner's Rift, just not in top lane before.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe I'll go. I think I might change my vote. I'll go Yone because it's more dangerous in the top lane than Kled is. Kled is, the actual lane phase is a lot easier for Kled to play out because he does have his own escapes for top lane, which is super long lane.
Also, at least Kled's meant to be a top lane champion. I don't believe Yone was ever intended to be a top laner. Not that we necessarily bucket champion that specifically, but I think he's supposed to be a mid laner.
True.
Yeah, I'm going to go Yone top lane from Bwipo. All right,
what do we got for slide number 2? Let's take a look here. Higher potential. Is it Soligo or Insanity? Dignitas have been popping off, and Soligo did his time. Soligo has been grinding away under the 100 Thieves banner. You know, he popped into LCS, back to Academy for a super long time. Insanity as well put some time into Academy. It wasn't as much as Soligo. As far as potential, though,
potential's the hardest thing to determine.
Yeah,
it's so because if we're rating him right now, it's hands down it's Soligo. Soligo is by far the better performer between the two of these younger mid laners in the LCS right now. I actually think that a number of the wins for Dignitas and specifically his Zoe play, I'll call that out. Specifically, his Zoe play is phenomenal. But then when you talk about potential, what is unrealized, it's really hard to say because remember the narratives all last year around Insanity were like the number of games they were one play away from winning, and unfortunately it was like a missed ult or something by Insanity. And so like when you think about it that way, there is so much unrealized potential in a player like Insanity where if he cleans it up just a little, he could totally turn the tides of some games.
Or the Aphelios curse. They got beat by the Aphelios multiple games in a row when it was so close. But my reasons for Insanity have a lot to do with champion pool also. Soligo has been really good. His champion pool has been really stable, and it has been things that we have expected from him a lot in the past. I love Insanity, who's the first LCS mid laner to bring it out in the mid lane. That doesn't mean he invented it or anything. Obviously, teams are scrimming with it, but that performance extremely good on one of the newer picks. Plus, he reaches out for some of the other control mages, whereas some people are playing only Syndra, only Azir, only Orianna. Is at least branching to the Victor, even though that's not that far.
All right, wait
reach.
target Power of Evil there, Kobe. He's pretty good mid laner.
So I'm going to actually go Insanity for a little bit more variation in champion pool and some of the plays. He does look for a lot of these big, all-in plays. Specifically with the Tristana, had a lot of, really, really good offensive rocket jumps.
Yeah, I feel that. I am going to stick with Soligo only because I do think he's realizing some of that potential, and I see a little bit more of a clear definition towards where he could, what kind of mid laner he could be and where he could end up. But both of them have stepped up this year, and it's been exciting to track their improvements. Slide number 3, what you got for us? Better engage, Rell or Alistar? It's Rell. It's Rell. It's
no
Rell.
Question.
Did you watch the 5-minute video that Azael did about the 400 million ways for Rell to engage? The fact that she can engage like an infinite number of ways with only 4 abilities is insane.
The biggest thing to me is how instant the ultimate is. Because there's a lot of engages and potential ultimates and stuff like that people use, but it just feels so clean playing Rell ever. No matter when you pop R, you can pop it at any point during travel time. Whatever is happening to you, it is just so instant. It's like they didn't even put animations on it or anything.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to use. I feel like you can react to a lot of situations.
She also has the best level 1 engage in the game.
Yeah,
I think.
And we saw the surprise move used by Smoothie was the first one. The dismounted engage for CLG way back when and got the first blood. That was the start of the CLG first blood meme where they get every single game. It was from him with the dismounted engage flashing in there for the.
Yeah, 100% Rell. Love me some Alistar, and you want to talk disengage, he's back in the conversation, but Rell, no question, better engage between these two.
I actually can't believe that I have still seen people mess up Alistar combos, by the way. Nothing even
I know, after they changed it. Just
all you do
hit the 2 keys.
They made it idiot-proof. Just the WQ. There you go. Next slide, though. Let's move on, because that is a story for another day. Which team is better, Cloud9 without Blaber or TSM without Spica? Blaber is so insane that I feel like Cloud9 losing him would just crush them. Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, Perks is playing a lot better. I'll let you finish, James, but I'm going to keep going here on this Cloud9 thing, okay? Because yes, Perks is playing a lot better. Yes, they have a lot of other great sources on Cloud9, but man, any team losing Blaber, I don't care what team it is. The fact that you had Blaber and now you don't.
Well, but so that answers the question of which team loses more. Because no question, Cloud9 loses more in losing Blaber. Like, again, if we're comparing the two players straight up, yes, Blaber's a better player than Spica. But which team is better, right? So my question to you is going to be, are we basically just analyzing a 4v4 match? No jungler on the map, so honestly, how do the lanes match?
Honestly, I think that's a good way to think about it. It's just no jungle game for League of Legends. Game. That actually, a lot of people might like that option. If we have that queue, no jungle League of Legends,
just let me lane in isolation. There's so many solo laners who would be so happy about that. But see, this is the thing. So then I just do lane matchups. Perks better than Power of Evil, I think, right now. Power of Evil is playing really well, but Perks has been just on a tear.
The BM of buying the Medjais first after solo killing Demonte was
in a matchup that you probably should not have been solo killing on. Yes, like that's crazy. And then you look at the bot lane. I mean, Vulcan Sven versus Lost and Sword Art. I'm sorry, I still give the edge to Vulcan Sven, I think, straight up in that 2v2. So then your winning matchup
is playing better.
Is top
now.
Huni's playing much better, and he is better than Fudge, and so that's where I would give. But I think I still give the edge in a 4v4 matchup between these two teams to Cloud9. Even without Blaber. But again, to the question of who loses more, yes, you lose more if you lose Blaber because he's the best player in the league. But
so here's the thing. I think that Blaber also, like, he does so much to make the rest of the team better that I feel like
it's a good point.
Even if you're just thinking about it, I've isolated taking them two out. I feel like
you're right. Blaber may unlock the rest of the team to look better by virtue of his ability. And that is something to be considered. I don't know if it's just total. It's Cloud9 bias, and I recognize it, but I'm sticking with my guns. It's Cloud9.
Okay. You got me too. All right, me as well. Next slide, number 5 here. Better identity thief. Is it Viego or Sylas? Well, Viego steals everything but your ultimate. Sylas steals your ultimate. So I'm going to go with Viego.
Yeah, he also steals your likeness.
I mean, he steals your items, James. He literally steals everything.
You're right.
You.
He takes the content of your wallet. He takes your skin. Yeah. He takes everything.
What you got at the bank, what you got at home, what car you driving, James. You know, he steals your girlfriend. Like, she doesn't even know the difference.
You're right.
Sylas,
yeah.
To your point, still looks like Sylas. People around will be like, all right, I can tell that's not
James. It's just an imposter.
He's talking like James.
Yeah. Yeah, suggestion of other champion, but still very much Sylas. Yeah, Viego, hands down. Next up, what you got for us? All right, Counter Logic Gaming 2 and 10, as good as their record or better than their record? So, yeah. This is tough.
For so long, I want to say better than their record, and I do feel, because so many of those games, you know, you're like, oh my god, this is so close. They should have more wins.
Yeah.
How much better than the record, though? I feel like even if you made that answer and you're like, yeah, they're actually better than the record, I don't think it would be a whole lot. No. If you consider
I think it's 3-10 or 3-9 or 4-8 at best, I think. But I would say that they would be better than their record. And the big reasoning being, as we've already talked about today, is the fact that they've first blooded every single game they've played. They've had gold leads and winning positions in an abnormal number of games as compared to their win-loss record. And I do believe if you had the starting roster from the get-go, Broxa, Pobelter, Finn, Wild Turtle, Smoothie. I mean, all 5 of those guys have been on winning rosters, but like they've been in professional leagues for 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 plus years, each of them. I think there's over a 30-year
that's why that is one of the reasons why some of the mistakes were so mind-boggling. When you're like, oh my god, they have so many veterans, so much experience, and then they're like, 30 seconds before Dragon, let's all engage topside, losing summoner spells, and like,
you're right. Maybe I just argued against myself. But
I will say better, but
yeah, better,
slightly better, very slightly,
just barely.
All right, next slide, number 7. What do we got? You'd rather see Ocean Soul or Mountain Soul? So
I just love Ocean Soul.
The only little caveat would be now after the changes in preseason, where it is so heavily encouraged and easy to get Grievous Wounds, and you can even get stronger Grievous Wounds than you could before with the 60% options for all of the fully upgraded options. Thorn Mail, you can actually apply it yourself as a tank without having to rely on people auto-attacking you. If you stun them, then you can apply the 60%. Right. I'd say that'd be the only caveat. I'd probably still go for Ocean Soul, despite the fact that most people actually buy Grievous Wounds regardless of soul now, because there's so much healing in the game.
Right. Yeah. And the items that give Grievous Wounds now generally are, I think, worked to be a little bit better and
they got ultimately stats that they give too.
They just ultimately feel better to build, so you're okay working it in as like a third item. So yeah, I'm evaluating this slide purely off of like personal preference of aesthetically. Okay. I like Ocean more. I think it feels better in game when you have it. Like Ocean Soul, okay, I have a little shield and then it disappears and I'm tankier, yes, but like I don't feel it as much. And there's something very cool about the way that Ocean works, dealing damage, getting health, sustaining in that function, as well as ultimately, if it's Ocean Soul, it means I've gotten multiple oceans up to this point, and so it just feels good to have that ticking.
All right, I'm going against the grain. Then I'm going Mountain Soul.
Okay, fair.
For all the Grievous Wounds being so easily picked up, and a lot of people buying it before the soul even comes up, I'll go Mountain. Beefy shield to start it off. See what we got for the final slide.
I recognize that's the right choice. I'm picking the wrong choice because I like it. So
even with my own reasoning, I'm like,
who knows?
I don't even know if that's really right.
Would you say these are the 2 best, though? The 2 best souls in the game? I think they're the 2 best right now.
I still love Infernal. I still
think, you like just straight up damage?
Yeah, I really like Infernal.
Bigger flex here. Last slide of the day. Is it Kangas, one of our Academy casters, or Hauntzer?
Right off the bat, I'm going to say Hauntzer, but you do have to take into account the camera is closer, and so it is about perspective. He's got really good lighting bouncing right off the biceps. Even taking that into account, though, and I know the angle is important and the proximity of the camera, I'm still going Hauntzer. Look at those guns, boy.
Okay, I'm going Kangas.
Look at the curvature. It's like he's got a tennis ball under there under his bicep.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think the camera and the overall composition of the picture is doing Hauntzer more favors than is being done to Kangas. For example, you can see the whole of Hauntzer's flex, the muscle there, whereas the shirt is covering part of Kangas's. So I think you're lacking some of those lines that you would look for in definition. But I do think, for exactly the reasons you said, look at just perspective-wise how much further Kangas is away, which indicates to me that his muscles are actually significantly bigger. So I think I got to go with him. Plus, he's got the facial expressions to match, man. He's full. He's in it. This is in character right here, okay?
I like this one. Another day at the office, James.
If someone flexes at me like Hauntzer, I ain't scared. I'm like, all right, the guy's apathetic towards me, Like, yeah, he's strong. I'm not going to start the fight with him, but he's not going to start it with me. And if you're going to flex on someone, you better freak him the hell out. You better put him on the back foot. And you know what? Kangas will put me on the back foot right now.
I even know, even with the change in camera distance, that's got to be Hauntzer. Hauntzer all the way, baby. All right. That is going to do it for us for this week of This or That. Tune in again next week. We do have a very spicy weekend coming up this Friday, Saturday, Sunday of more action-packed LCS.
Absolutely. Man, I got to get back in the gym. We got to do one of our own, you and me.
The gyms ain't open, man. It's been killing me. I've been trying to work out from home. It's not the same.
It's been brutal. It's been brutal. Soon enough, my friends. We'll see you this weekend, everybody. Have a good one.